I'm going to start just by introducing myself and then my guest. I am Kim Bomberger. I am a women's portrait photographer specializing in beauty, branding, and boudoir photography. And I'm the host of this show and this space, Women on the Rise. Here we talk with inspiring, empowered women who are dreaming new dreams. They're creating their legacies. They're building their empires. And so today I am absolutely thrilled to have Beckie Schwartz on our show. Beckie was one of our 50 over 50 project participants. I fell in love with her and her story, and I have been watching her closely over, especially this past year, watching her rise and her passion and her creativity and her influence. And so I really am so excited to bring her here on the show. Now, I always ask our ladies to give me an intro, a bio, so I can introduce them. And Beckie is such a sweet, humble lady. She simply said she's a child of God. She's happily married. She's the mother of 6 children and grandmother to 3 with 1 on the way. So congratulations on that, Beckie. Yay. Hi. I'm so glad to have you today with us. And so you're checking yours too. If you see any questions or comments that I might not be seeing, feel free, we can answer them in real time. And the other thing that we can do is if you have questions and we don't see them or get to them, Beckie's a member of this group and she will be happy to come on and answer your questions in the comments later. So without any further ado, Beckie, the reason that we wanted to talk today was about this special cafe that you have created. So can you tell us all things about Noah's Agape Cafe?
Okay, so we have Noah's Agape Cafe, and we've been open almost a year now. And we hire adults with intellectual differences and the folks and our friends on the spectrum as well. We have different scenarios of ways that people can come in here. My son Noah goes to North Florida School of Special Education. He's 16 years old, so he's the thought behind this whole endeavor that we've partaken upon. So like he's 16, he goes to North Florida School, and before I moved here 6 years ago, I was part of a advocate group, and it was called Partners in Policy Making. And part of the homework when we came back home, because it was in Orlando, so we go once a month to Orlando for this intense weekend training. So 1 month we had to come home and we had to go and see different sheltered workshops and different group homes, and then come home and do a paper on it and that type of thing. So in seeing these sheltered workshops, I would just go back into my car and just cry and just be like, never my son, this is not going to be him. And I knew that there was a big need for jobs for these kids, but not just any job, a job that they felt it was for them and they felt proud of. And it wasn't just a job for everybody, but you have to think out of the box sometimes, right? And just make them happy, and a job that they're happy in. So I was something that was always like in the back of my head that this was going to be something that we were going to do when the time was right. And my husband and I like to bake and cook, and Noah as well. So at one point my family gave me a little bit of my inheritance early. So I'm like, okay. So with my inheritance and my faith, we just like jumped in with 2 feet. And it's just been going on, and it's been snowballing, and it's been such a learning experience for me. I found out I did a lot of things backwards, and I probably should have done some fundraising before I did this. And I didn't know anything about leasing and contractors and different license. It was just the stuff that I've learned in payroll and QuickBooks, and thank goodness I have an army of people who are behind me, and I have the sweetest customers ever, and such just like customers who've gotten to be so sweet where they're actually literally coming in and helping me out and rallying around me and donating. If it wasn't for donations, we wouldn't have been able to last the first month or the first year. Our initial plan was just going to be to have a like a grab and go with a coffee shop, like coffee and grab and go stuff. And I've already signed a lease at this point and started to pay rent. And I'm like, okay, I need to look into my licensing, which again, I should have done first and I didn't. And in order to cut a bagel in half and toast it or make a smoothie, you were needed to be like a legit restaurant.
Oh my.
So my inheritance just basically covered to get my place, like the contractor. We took down a couple walls, added a wall. We spent thousands of dollars just getting the plumbing and electrical up to code.
Right.
And I mean, we were taking down popcorning and painting walls and putting in, I mean, there was just so much work to be done. So when we found out we were going to have to be like a restaurant, we kind of prayed about it and said, you know what, it's going to be definitely a leap of faith, but thank goodness I had really good credit. And I was able to, I don't know why it's so.
I'm sorry, I just hit the record button, so I'm gonna have to get the first part of this off of a Facebook download, but I realized I wasn't recording all of the awesome things you've been saying so far. We'll get it though. So anyways, go ahead.
So when we realized that we were going to need a different whole license, thank goodness I had like perfect credit and I was able to take out loans and all kinds of credit cards to cover the cost of the equipment. And we felt that this was going to be a good thing and that now our kids are learning culinary skills as well. So
wow.
If we hadn't done this, it would have been so much more minimized as to the stuff that we could teach these kids. It would just be strictly, basically doing smoothies and coffee. And the steamer gets very hot. So there's a lot of my volunteers and kids that I really don't want using the steamer because it is very hot, or the oven, or some of them are shorter and they have a hard time, putting the thing in and out of the oven. So there's so many other jobs to do. And we have kids that have never cracked an egg that are now cracking dozens of eggs, and kids who've never used a knife and they're cutting up pickles and cutting up oranges and, able to prep food. And we have some kids that love to be on the register. And we have children like my son. I mean, he's legally blind. And so the register is never going to be for him. We have some kids that need help making change, so they need support behind the register, and some kids are independent behind the register. So there's something for everybody, but what makes it so fun is every day it's like something different. We have kids from North Florida School of Special Education. They come out and with their job coach, and they're learning all these skills. And we have kids from Growing Together come out with their job coach.
Wow.
We just
so it's not just kids that you're hiring directly. You're basically getting volunteer groups of kids that are also like doing on the job training as part of their education. That's
exactly cool. And we've even had kids like in my neighborhood who were looking for volunteer hours. Mm-hmm. So we had an event where we needed somebody on the cotton candy machine and somebody on the snow cone machine and somebody on the popcorn machine. So we brought in neighborhood kids and gave them hours. So that's another thing about being a nonprofit, is the fact that we are able to, number one, solicit donations, which we're very much in need of. And we're also able to use these high school kids and give them hours because we are a nonprofit. We're also faith-based, and we have a lot of Bible studies going on in here. A lot of the parents who are homeschooling, there's a lot of co-ops coming on in here. We have special events once a month. We had a, what was it? You just saw, Take the Stage karaoke night.
Yes, I was seeing like all of the fun events that you guys do.
We do. We have a lot of fun.
So what are your hours?
So we're open from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Saturday. And we have a church, it's called Trinitas. And
Uh-huh.
they do that on Sundays in a restaurant here on Sundays. On the second and fourth Sunday, you can come to church. And the church is basically geared more towards families with special needs kids
Mm-hmm.
that weren't feeling comfortable or welcomed in your traditional, church. So we're trying to build that. Pastor Wayne and his wife are amazing, and you should come out. Just if you want to go to church and you feel like this is the place for you, we're welcoming all, and it's open to everybody. Again, it's the second and fourth Thursday of the month.
Thursdays.
On Sundays, I'm sorry.
Sundays. Okay.
Sundays,
Okay.
yeah.
Sundays. Okay. I've got two comments I'm seeing. Let me see. Oh, good morning. Good morning. We have Cynthia and we have Dawn Archer here with us this morning. So just saw those comments. So thank you. And if anybody has questions, definitely I am seeing. So feel free to put them in the comments. Okay. So where are you located, Beckie?
So we're on 102 State Road 13, Fruit Cove. It's right over the bridge. If you're coming from, like, it's really close to the Julington Creek Bridge.
Okay. Okay. So you're open from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And then when you have special events, then you just publish those through, how do you get the word
Either
out
on my
about that?
Facebook page or my website. So we
Okay.
have, we're having a little birthday bash September 9th, and we're going to be doing just a birthday party, celebrate that we've been here with other nonprofits, DJ, barbecue. And then October 21st, we're doing a special dinner fundraiser. And this month we actually have a wine tasting going on the 21st. So every month there's something different.
Oh, that's cool. So you try to do like one thing a month or just whenever things come up? Because I saw you did like painting classes, you've done the karaoke nights, the wine tastings, and I guess do you host, like, can somebody, if you wanted to have like a special event there, do you rent your space out for
Absolutely.
that purpose too? That's really great.
Yeah, we had the cutest little tea party here one time. And we had one room, we pulled all the furniture out, and it was like a dance floor for the kids. And we had like the little lights going on, and
Oh, how
we had like
fun.
little, boas and gloves. And it was just the cutest little thing. We've done
Oh,
graduation parties, we've done a bridal party. We've just done a lot of really fun, different events. I've got a barbecue going on here for somebody's surprise party next month. Yeah.
That is so awesome. I just love it. And I just still can't believe you're celebrating 1 year. I was telling you before, I thought that you have been doing this for about 3 years just because of how much you've accomplished. But it sounds like you took the fast course and got really just immersed in it head on and have learned all the things really, really fast, like in the middle of it. And it's just amazing. Tell me, I know that you're a woman of strong faith, but like what kept you going when I'm sure there had to have been times that you were like, this is way more than I signed on for. Like, what kept you going?
Definitely my faith. And I mean, there were times, honest to goodness, where it's like I have my rent and I have my payroll, and it's like I can't pay both. And I'm like, oh Lord, I know you got me. And then before you know it, it's like crazy. I'll go out into my mailbox, and I had this person that I met one time, and he wrote me a check for $2,500.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And like, it keeps me up at night, but not so much worrying, but my brain is always going on how to make it better, or what can I do next, or, just different, what can I maybe add something to my menu, or, but it's like, my faith is strong. And like I said, I have so many people in my corner, and it just always, I don't have to worry about it. I just give that worry and just lay it at Jesus' feet, and I just know he's got me. So I'm really not a worrier. I probably should at some point, because there's a lot of things that, yeah, it's like I look at my bills sometime, or the fact that for the longest time, I just put everything, honest to goodness, in a manila envelope. And I'm like, oh no, now I need to organize this. I mean, I'm running a business. I got to figure this out. So I've got, a gentleman, he's one of my board members, and the one who, Pastor Wayne,
Uh-huh.
been so kind and generous with his time to be helping me out with my books and getting me straight. It's just been, I'm a work in progress. I really.
Well, and I mean, running any kind of business is a lot of work. And even as a photographer, I mean, there's taking pictures of people, but then there is all of the other things that you have to learn in the background just for running a business. And so not only are you running this cafe, but you are having to do all of it, and it's a lot. How many people do you have that actually work with you, and the people that you employ there, like, to oversee? Because I would think that would take a lot of hands in your cafe.
Yeah, I'm basically the one that does the payroll. I do the scheduling, I do the banking, I do the bills, I do all that. I have a gentleman by the name of Mark. He's a friend of mine. He owns Spectrum Thrift Store.
Mm-hmm.
So he is a VR vendor, and that's something that I'm going to be working towards getting. So VR is Voc Rehab. And when you're a vendor, different agencies like come to you with their individuals who are needing a job. And the parents are going through Voc Rehab in order to get them placed by one of their counselors.
Right.
So I am not a vendor, but my friend Mark from Thrift Store, the Spectrum is.
Mm-hmm.
So we have kids that he is being the vendor for. So they're paid through VR. And Mark is getting the kickback because he's the VR vendor. And I am so happy to be helping him out, because his landlord just raised his rent like ridiculous amount. So this was something that I was like, okay, let's get some people in here working and, help you with your rent. So we actually have his son who worked all summer with me. And during the school year, it is a bit trickier because the kids are in school. So I'm by myself quite a bit of the time. Weekends, I've got a bunch of volunteers because everybody's out of school. But I do have volunteers during the week. And most of them are like private customers, private people come in with their families paying for the ABA. It's private versus a school coming in. So
Okay.
like 3 of those people that are coming in with their private ABAs. I've got a little boy who comes in with his mom, and she is his support.
Okay.
We're teaching him too. And like I said, we have the 3 different schools that are coming out here, and they come in with their social skills people, or their support ABA.
Right.
But one of the things I would like to do, and why we are doing these fundraisers, and like I said, we always are open and in need of donations, is I would love to be able to have the money, excuse me, to hire somebody on staff that will be here at all times to help the kids and be the kids support, where I don't have to say, well, I'm sorry, I can't hire you because you don't have support, and I can't run a restaurant and give you support.
Right. Yes. There's just a lot of moving pieces, it sounds
There
like.
is. Mm-hmm.
And so because I've done volunteer work like out at Clara White Mission and things like that. And it's just volunteers that are out there a lot of times. Even, I don't know that they do the cooking, but they are doing the serving and things like that. So do you have opportunities for volunteers to come out in your off times that can just work and run the cafe?
Oh,
and help
absolutely.
with that. So you
Yeah,
have opportunities for
yes,
people to get involved and just come out and help
absolutely.
you get through a day, get through a shift or whatever.
Yes.
So,
So I'd
okay,
like
well,
to
we'll
have
make sure we
another one
publish
like
that.
me. I want another
Yeah,
one of me.
right. Yes, you need to clone Becky right now, somebody who
Yes,
can
you
just
do.
oversee all of it.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, and there's just a couple of more things I wanted to touch on because I noticed that you have, I mean, you've done some really creative things. You have your own coffee brand that's been branded for you, and then you started carrying ready-made foods, I think that you don't have to make in the shop. Is that right?
The only thing that we don't make in our cafe is the bearded baker rolls. And there's a gentleman, Andy, who lives in Rivertown,
Okay,
and he's known as the bearded baker. And
bearded baker.
he makes these amazing rolls and he wholesales them to me. So that's something that I'm not making. I'm buying from him wholesale,
Uh-huh.
selling them. But everything else you see in our case is homemade. We do the
Oh
Spanish
my.
pita, the gluten-free muffins. We have dairy-free blueberry French toast bake. We've just added bacon to our menu. So we're doing, we do grilled cheese, we do BLTs, we do club sandwiches now, um, cookies, peach bars, brownies. Like I said, this is such an opportunity for these kids, and these kids are baking spanakopita and stuff, and they're learning how to gently put that phyllo down and
Wow,
press it, and
that's some skills
it's fun too. I mean, the
to
kids
do
are
that.
feeling so proud and so empowered that, wow, I made this, and it's like,
Yes,
I'll take a piece and I said, come on, let's try it. I mean, you made this. And
right.
families were like, that's really good. Can I get that recipe?
And then do the kids actually go and take that back home and cook for their families?
There was a little, one of my volunteers did a spanakopita, but put some
Mhm.
meat in it or whatever. And I do have one of my volunteers who took a peach bar to go make his mom last week. So I'll have
Aw,
to hear about that.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Just the way that you are empowering these amazing kids, that just need somebody who can give them that extra touch and the extra guidance to bring out their full potential. You are doing it, lady, in spades. So I'm so impressed. And so, how can we help you? Like, what do you need that we can help, like, get the word out about that, people can help with?
Oh, there's a bunch of ways. I would say the more imminent needs are I'm needing sponsors. And the sponsorships, I'm getting new shirts and new cups made up. And with the sponsorships, I'll be putting the businesses' names on the back of our shirts and on our coffee cups. Also, I'm in need of, we're having a silent auction during our dinner, our dinner benefiting us. And I really need some silent auction items.
When is that?
That's October 12th.
Okay.
And that's going to be catered and it's going to be in a clubhouse down here in St. Johns County. So
Nice.
looking for silent auction, that's big. Because I'm not making so much money with the dinner. I'm going to be making more money with sponsorships and silent auction items.
Right.
As you all know, it's a really good thing, these silent auction. I've got one who's donated a jukebox. I've got a week vacation on the beach in Panama. So I've got a lot of
Lovely.
good stuff, but I need a lot more.
Yes, yes. Well, I
And
think,
volunteers.
are
Always
those
need
all
volunteers.
posted on your website? Like, do you have volunteer opportunities and needs like published to where if we posted a link, these are the needs that people, so that they can know? Or how
Yeah.
do we find out?
I will be going public very soon about my needs for sponsorships and for silent auction. Um, that's going to be going soon when I just get every detail, because I thought I could fit like 75 and I went back to look at the venue and it's only 64.
Okay,
So I had put out some papers and I'm like, I have to go back and correct those. So it will be coming out here soon.
okay.
But that's the biggest thing right now is I need some sponsorships and I need some silent auction items.
So the biggest way that we can keep in touch and know what you need when would probably be your Facebook page,
Facebook page
which
will be number one.
which is Noah's Agape Cafe.
Cafe. Yep.
And I've published that in this group a few times, but I'll make sure that I have it up
And
there in
my
a separate
website.
post too, and your website.
Yeah,
So-
noahsagapecafe.org.
Right. Okay. So we will make sure to keep those published for you. And as I see needs, I'll post them in here as well. And on my personal page, because I just think it's such a great thing in the community. Actually, Dawn is one of our members of this group who went to, she participated in the Miss Senior Jacksonville pageant.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can work out a time for her to get out there with her crown as Miss Senior Diva. She won. And she
Okay.
said she lives off of Racetrack Road and she would definitely visit. So
Awesome.
maybe we could come up with a Meet the Queen or something. I
Yes,
think that would be so
definitely.
fun for some of the kids to be inspired by a beauty queen.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, so that's awesome. But yes, I would love to find more ways that, you know, people in our group we have amazing people in this group, can collaborate and come and get involved and help you out.
Thank you.
And you're just doing so amazing. So, well, Beckie, do you have any final words?
No, just God is good, man. I tell you what, I'm very blessed and grateful.